What's going on, guys? Back with another discussion in these dog times. You know, a lot of us live dog lives. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about women don't want a good man, they want an attractive man. I feel this would be a good topic to talk about. And it's true when you think about it. Women don't want a good man, they want a man that they're attracted to. You know, if you play close attention, women are not choosing good men. They're just choosing men that they're attracted to. So, when you hear guys saying, oh, women don't want a good man, that's true. Women don't want a good man. They just want someone that looks good. They want a man that's attractive. They want a man that gets them wet. Um, a lot of people like to say looks only take you so far. Well, looks get you in the door. And you won't even get in the door if you don't look a certain way. Um, this is why women stay in toxic relationships. This is why women stay with dudes that are not taking care of their children. This knucklehead, he won't step up to the plate and be a man, and he, you know, you can't teach him nothing, and he won't do his job as a man. Um, the reason why some of these guys won't stand up and be a man and they won't do their job because these dudes are who they gonna be. And a lot of times when women get with these men, they already know who these dudes are. A lot of these women, when they choose these men, they know that the dude is a violent type of man. They know the dude is irresponsible. They know the dude is a toxic human being. But see, women will never admit this and just come out and say it like, I don't want a good man. I want an attractive man. And that's something I was thinking about myself. Like, we all know that women don't want a good man. I mean, the proof is in the pudding that women don't want a good man. When you look at the men that women are in relationships with, when you look at the men that women marry, women don't want a good man. They want an attractive man. And that's something that most women will never be honest about. Um, a lot of people don't want to admit the truth. Women will never admit the truth, but it's the truth. I mean, now you have some men that women do find them attractive, and they so happen to be a good guy as well. But you know what? Those men had the looks first. They had the looks first because there are some dudes out there who, women found them attractive, and turns out they taking care of their kids. They're good to their wife. They are a good man, but they just so happen to have the looks. But let's be real here. We all know, guys, women do not want a good man. They want an attractive man. And that's something I had to learn too. A woman doesn't care about you being a good man. You could be a good man, but if you don't look good, if you don't stimulate her sexually, it doesn't matter that you're good. And that's just the truth. This is just the type of stuff that women just not gonna be honest about, though. Stuff like this, they gonna lie about this and say that's not true. But I mean, all you gotta do is look at the men that women choose to get with. Women, they're not choosing men because they're good. Women are choosing men because they find them attractive. So I think a lot of guys need to realize that a woman doesn't care about you being a good man. You being a good man doesn't matter to her. You know, if you're not attractive, you're not going to even get your foot in the door. Um, and that's just the truth. Women always say one thing, but they mean something totally different. So when a woman says she wants a good man, really what she's saying is, I want someone that I'm attracted to. I don't care if this dude is a good man. I don't care if he's a low life POS. Long as he looks good, long as he can give me good D, long as he can make me have multiple O's, you know, that's all that matters. Now, women are not going to be as transparent and admit that, but that's what women mean when they say they want a good man. They want someone they're attracted to first. Because at the end of the day, a woman will be in a relationship with a dude who's not a good man. A woman will marry a man who's not a good man. Because women don't care about a man being good long as he's sexy. Long as he has the sex appeal, that's what really matters. And women will never be honest about that, but that's just the truth. Being a good man doesn't matter because there are a lot of there are a lot of so-called good men out here, but they can't get a lick of vagina to save their life. And the reason why that is because women do not care about a man being good. They don't care about a man being good, and I even had to learn that. A woman does not care about you being good. It's all about sex appeal. Do you look good to her? Can she see herself being in a relationship with you? Can she see herself being intimate with you? And I had to get that through my head. A woman don't care about you being good. See, a lot of guys been gaslit to believe that a woman cares about you being good. A woman cares about your good personality, that you can make them laugh or whatever. A woman don't care about none of that garbage. You gotta look good to these women. And that's just the truth. If you don't look good, you're not gonna get nowhere with these women. And that's what I even had to realize. It all boils down to that physical appearance. A lot of people know this, but they don't want to admit it. And I wish women could be honest about this because I know that this is the truth, what I'm saying. Women don't care about a man being good. You got to look good. And that's what a lot of guys need to realize. Because you got some dudes who probably think to themselves, I'm a good dude. Why am I not being chosen by women? Why are women not taking me serious? Well, the reason why you're not being chosen is not because you're a good man. A woman don't care about you being a good man. You got to be sexy. You got to be sexy. Now, if you so happen to be an attractive guy and you're a good man, well, you lucky in that aspect. But first, you got to look good to women. And I think that's where a lot of guys get it misconstrued. You got to look good. And that's what I even had to realize. You got to look good to women first. All that other stuff comes secondary. If you look good to a woman and you so happen to be a good man, great. But if you're ugly and you a good man, they don't care. Women don't care if you're an ugly dude, but you a good man. And a lot of women know that most good men are ugly. Most good men are ugly. They're not physically attractive. And I believe a lot of women know this deep down instinctively. And I believe that's a big reason too to why women don't want good men. Because women know that good men are ugly. They have no sex appeal. Most bad guys tend to look good to women. So, women will never be honest about this, but that's the truth. And I believe this is the real reason to why women don't want a good man, because women know deep down that good men are not sexually stimulating. Good men are not sexy. They don't look good most of the times. Am I wrong, ladies? I want some women to comment on this presentation. Most of y'all women know that good men are not ugly. Are ugly. And I know I'm not lying here. Because women always say they want a good man, but let's be real, they don't want a good man. You just have to watch the nature of these women. Watch what they do. Women don't want a good man. They want a man who's attractive. But you guys leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this. And ladies, comment on this presentation because I know I'm not lying. Um, I know women feel that good men are ugly. I know this is not something that I'm just making up or pulling out of my behind. I know that what I'm saying is true. I, I know that this is the truth right here, what I'm saying. And I just want some women to co-sign it and comment on this presentation. Y'all think good men are ugly. And a lot of these so-called bad guys, they so happen to be attractive. So at the end of the day, women don't want a good man. They want a man who's attractive. But you guys comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. You guys have a happy Sunday. Talk to you soon.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today? Hope everybody's having a great day. I want to, in this video here, I was watching a Pop the Balloon episode, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about something that's very, very brutal, and it's so real. I want to tell you guys that your appearance matters more than finances. And the reason why I say your appearance matters more than finances, because on this episode of a Pop the Balloon show, and this is why I say some guys just need to accept the fact that they're worthless. Some guys are worthless. This episode that I saw of a Pop the Balloon show, there was a guy tatted up, real buff and swole, had these big diamond chains around his neck, had $30K worth of diamonds in his mouth, and the women were not feeling him. And I'm gonna make a point here, guys. Your look matters way more than your assets. Because see, there are some women, they're not impressed by a Mercedes Benz. They're not impressed by a $6,000 Canali suit from Neiman Marcus. There are some women, if they don't find you physically attractive, if you don't make their vagina wet, nothing you do will matter. And that's just the truth. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter how much designer you got on. Don't matter how many diamonds you have around your neck. There are some women who are not impressed by that. And if they don't find you physically attractive, nothing else matters. See, looks trump everything. That's one thing I had to realize in life. Like, you know, if you weren't blessed with the proper genetics, you're screwed. You're just totally screwed. If you don't, like, there was a guy named, I believe his name was Richard Ramirez. He was a criminal. He looked like a model type dude. He was a Hispanic guy. And there were women that were willing to pay to get his reproductive fluids so they could have his kid. Now, that's how you know you're a valuable man. If you got women willing to pay to get your reproductive fluid so they can have your kid, that's how you know that you're a god. That's why I say Richard Ramirez, he was a criminal. This man was a god. He was a god. He had multiple women that were interested in him. And that's why I say one thing I had to understand is that the way you look as a man is more important than your money. I mean, it's nothing wrong with having nice things. I like nice things. But the way you look as a man is more valuable than your assets. It's way more valuable than your assets. Looks are everything. Looks are everything. You know, I know people like to say that looks fade, but your look is what gets you in the door. Your look is what solidifies you as a man. There was a man who was homeless. I saw it on Instagram. Dude, remind you of a pretty boy R&B singer. There were plenty women who were willing to let this man move into their crib. You got to ask yourself, how many women will allow you to move into their crib? None. This is why I had to understand that the way you look to women is more valuable than your assets. See, you got a lot of guys like this guy that was on that Pop the Balloon show. He was compensating for the lack of. See, a lot of guys who are not attractive to women, they got to compensate with money. They got to compensate with designer. They got to compensate with a luxury automobile. They got to compensate with a big old home. But you know what? There are women, if they don't find you attractive, none of that matters. None of that matters if they don't find you attractive. And this episode that I saw of this Pop the Balloon show of this dude just goes to show that if you don't look the part, a woman don't care that you got $30,000 worth of diamonds in your mouth. A woman don't care that you got big diamond chains around your neck. You know, if they don't find you attractive as a man, it doesn't matter. And this is why some guys are just worthless. Some people are worthless. Some people in the world have no value. Baraka used to tell me that all the time. Some people just not worth nothing. They not worth nothing. And it's the truth. Because you got a lot of guys that try to lead with their finances because they know that their looks game, it ain't cutting it when it come to women. Women don't find them attractive. But this is why I go back to what I was saying yesterday. Stuff like this is the reason why prostitution needs to be legal. Stuff like this is the reason why brothels need to be legal, because if you're a man that women don't find all that attractive and you can go to a brothel and pay a beautiful woman to blow you off, to let you hit it from the back, that'll fix all your problems as a man. If you could go to a brothel and pay a sex worker to screw you, this is why they need to have legal brothels. You know, I feel brothels need to be legal in all 50 states. That's just my personal opinion, because this episode that I saw of the Pop the Balloon show, where this dude had all these diamonds around his neck and he was compensating with his wealth and his money. He even offered to fly the woman on a private jet. You know how much it costs to get a private jet? Do you realize how much it costs to get a private jet? Do you know how much it costs to buy a jet in general? And he was willing to fly this woman on a private jet. She didn't want to do it because she wasn't attracted to him. This is why I had to realize that looks trump everything. Your appearance as a man is everything. That's what solidifies you. And I'm seeing that, you know, if women don't find you to be an attractive man, all that materialism don't even matter. You know, and I'm not saying that it's nothing wrong with liking nice things. Because let's be honest, I like nice things. You know, I love nice things. But if women don't find you attractive, if that initial connection is not there, then nothing else matters. You know, if that connection is not there, nothing else matters. You know, I mean, that episode of Pop the Balloon, that just goes to show that looks is everything. If women don't find you attractive, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. This is why I wish that they would legalize brothels. I feel the cure to lonely men, the cure to men who are not wanted, is brothels. I feel that's the solution right there. You know, if someone was to ask me, what do you feel is the cure for men who are non-select? What do you feel is the cure to men who are not desired by women? Brothels. You know, because if you can pay a beautiful woman to screw you, that's a win-win situation. That's one of the main reasons to why I want to be a millionaire, so I can pay women to have sex with me. Because I realize that that's the way to go. And that's what a lot of guys are going to have to do. But I'm just seeing more than ever that, you know, if women don't find you attractive as a man, you're just screwed. And that episode of Pop the Balloon just goes to show that if that initial attraction is not there, if a woman does not find you attractive, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. You know, your money, your materialism, that doesn't matter if they don't find you attractive. That connection got to be there. And, you know, if a woman stink hole not getting wet, it's over. If the vagina not wet, it's over. You know, I mean, it's just the truth. Some guys just ain't cut out for the game. you know. And there's nothing wrong with admitting you're not cut out for the game, you know. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're not cut out for the game. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. That's why I say that some guys are just worthless. Some dudes are worthless. They're not worth nothing. But that's all I want to say for now, guys. Remember, your assets can only take you so far. That connection got to be there.